The Detroit Lions are looking for an offensive coordinator, and it seems like the entire league is now.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We're back, everybody. It is another edition of Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network. Matt Dery with you on a Tuesday, January 13th into Wednesday, January 14th. Thank you for making us your first listen, and thank you for being with us on this Tuesday edition. A lot to get into today. We've got the legend. I'm just going to tease it. I'm not even going to tell you. One of the legends, one of the guys I love talking to, one of the people that you all, as Locked On Lions listeners and viewers, love to hate, is going to join us. Special guest in the second segment. Also, Sheila Ford Hamp, Lions owner, sends a letter to season ticket holders. What did it say? What is she saying about this past 9-8 season? We will read that to you coming up. Mike Tomlin is out in Pittsburgh. Got to discuss that. But first and foremost, let's get into it. Lions continue to look for a new offensive coordinator. David Blau was interviewed. He's staying with the Commanders. Mike McDaniel scheduled to be talked to tomorrow by the Lions. Jake Peetz, who none of us have heard of, Seahawks passing game coordinator, on the list. And now you can add Mike Kafka's name as well, the 38-year-old interim head coach of the Giants, offensive coordinator of the Giants. He reportedly will get an opportunity to speak with the Lions as well this week, as Detroit continues to search for an OC. I'm a Kafka fan. And I know in week 12, when the Lions took on the Giants at Ford Field, Kafka, he emptied the tank, man. He had a bag of tricks. He had a trick bag, as George Blaha would say, that day with the double reverse pass back to Jameis Winston for a touchdown. The flea flicker, which worked down the field. His teams, Kafka's teams, as he was the OC for Brian Daboll the last few years in New York, and then the interim coach. Kafka's teams have always been able to run the football pretty well. Biggest issue for Kafka, well, two of them. Number one, he went to the same high school as former Lion Kenny Galladay. I don't know why I just said that was an issue, but I'm throwing it out there. And number two, and Justin Rogers pointed this out in Detroit Football Network, his teams have never finished higher than 21st in passing. But I like the creativity. I like the fact that he played in the league, was a quarterback for the Eagles for many years, former quarterback at Northwestern. And I think there's some creativity there. And I think he hasn't had a lot to work with the Giants. But I like that they're talking to him. And again, I seem like I repeat myself every single day, but the Lions should be talking to everybody, anybody that is out there that is an offensive coordinator candidate, whether it's Davis Webb, heck, Arthur Smith just became available because Mike Tomlin has, walked away from the Steelers and is stepping down after 19 years. And we'll talk about that in a second. Why not talk to Arthur Smith? I don't love Arthur Smith, but talk to him. Interview everybody. There are a lot of openings. A ton. Close to 40% of the league now is looking for a new OC. Steelers are going to need one. Philly's now going to need one. You see that today? Kevin Patullo fired by Nick Sirianni after 1 year as the Eagles OC. So you got a ton of teams now that need a head coach. Those head coaches, when they are hired, are then going to need an offensive coordinator. All right. There's a lot of good openings out there. Getting a chance to run the Eagles offense with Saquon and those receivers and Goddard and Jalen Hurts, that's a good job. I know it's a lot of pressure. That's a tough place to have to coach in Philadelphia. Tampa Bay, good job, good opening. They're interviewing Todd Monken today, who has been the OC in Tampa before going to Baltimore and has worked with Baker Mayfield in the past. That's a good job. So the Lions' job is excellent. All right, you got stability. You've got a damn good head coach in Dan Campbell. Biggest question that I keep asking, though, is this OC that the Lions are interviewing definitely excuse me, 100% going to be calling the plays. All right. That's where Mike McDaniel, where we've talked about him the last couple of days, comes in. Teams are salivating to talk to him, not only to be the OC, but 4 teams interviewing him to be the head coach. So a lot of moving parts right now when it comes to the Lions offensive coordinator opening. A little bit surprised I haven't seen Brian Daboll's name yet, but it's a possibility. It's there. So we'll have to wait and see. Daboll interviewing for the Tennessee Titans head coaching job. The Titans have interviewed or scheduled interviews with 17 different candidates. Talk about casting a wide and big net. My goodness, Tennessee, talking to just about everybody and anybody when it comes to their offensive coordinator spot. And I'm going to give you another name, and it's been written a little bit. There's a guy in college that after Monday might be somebody that the Lions should at least interview, and that's Mike Shanahan, who is the offensive coordinator for the Indiana Hoosiers. No relation to the former head coach. No relation to Kyle Shanahan, the Niners head coach. But that's a guy in college right now that runs some kind of show at IU. And I know he's one of the highest paid assistants in the Big Ten, and he stayed with Curt Cignetti forever. But that would be an outside-the-box guy that I would talk to as well. All right, other news. How about this one? You guys, many of you as Lions fans went from fire Kelvin Sheppard and we need a new defensive coordinator to now, yes, Kelvin Sheppard will interview for the Miami Dolphins head coaching vacancy. I still think John Harbaugh could end up there. But Kelvin Sheppard getting a head coaching interview. Some of you will just say, well, that's just a team using this Rooney rule and he's an African-American assistant and all. I think Kelvin Sheppard is going to knock that interview out of the park. I'm not telling you they're going to hire him, but I'm telling you teams that interview Kelvin Sheppard are going to love him. Good for him getting this interview. I'm not sure he's going to get the job, but what did Miami just go through? They just went through years under Mike McDaniel, who's a great offensive mind, but not a lot of accountability. Players complaining about lack of rules, things too loose. If Kelvin Sheppard goes down there, somehow gets that head coaching job, you want to talk about strict, you want to talk about disciplined, that dude will demand accountability, credibility, work ethic from his team. But after the year that the Lions defense had, especially the second half, I'm not so sure he would get that job, but I'm telling you, he'll interview very well. Great talker, and I think eventually will be a head coach in this league. I truly believe that. All right, coming up next, our special guest. We got to check in with our guy and see how he is holding up. We'll do that coming up next right here on a Tuesday, Locked On Lions. And hey, Locked On Lions, we'd like to welcome back our friends at Indeed. If you've ever hired someone who looked good on paper but wasn't the right fit, you know how important that is. When you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed. Sponsored jobs. Hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates faster. If I needed to hire someone for this show, let's say, I'd go straight to Indeed and be very specific about what I was looking for. Real experience, not just a resume buzzboard. Instead of struggling to get your job post seen, Indeed sponsored jobs helps your listing stand out and reach quality candidates faster. Spend more time interviewing great candidates to check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results by using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of Locked On Lions get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/LockedOnNFL. Just go to Indeed.com/LockedOnNFL right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. And hey, new sponsor on the program, Quo. New year, new systems. This is the time when a lot of us look at the at the messier parts of how we run business and think there's got to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Q-U-O, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. Everyone sees the full conversation thread, which makes replies faster and more personal. I just love how simple Quo makes everything. Works right from your phone or computer. You can even keep your existing number. It's no surprise Quo is the number 1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNFL. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNFL. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. All right, I promised you a special guest. Here he is. We're checking in with him. Legendary Locked On host. I think one of the best Locked On host out there. The great Peter Bukowski, Locked On Packers. Pete, how are we holding up, buddy?
You're just saying nice things to me because you know what the last week has been like in Packer Nation.
Dude, I was rooting for you all day.
I know. And I heard from Lions fans. I know that there was like, that was the energy, was for whatever Ben Johnson said about the Packers. And it's a word we can't say on air or in polite company, but I know that there were a lot of Lions fans feeling that about the Bears, and in particular, Ben Johnson in all of this too.
Oh, dude, Benedict. I mean, we hate him. I mean, talk about a heel turn. I mean, this is just a 180.
Did you ever see something like this happening with him? Like,
no.
were there hints? Were there indications that this was coming?
I don't think so. Look, I'm not down there every day to remember his offensive coordinator pressers on Thursdays, but this is ridiculous. I mean, this is just look, Matt LaFleur. Look, and I know you've been going off on Matt LaFleur and everything else, but like, at least Matt LaFleur is trying to at least shake his hand. I mean, the last one this past week, I mean, he's galloping over there.
Embarrassing.
It is. That's embarrassing. Come on.
Like this is ultimately a game, right? And so, like, let's not clutch our pearls over some of this stuff. But what's weird to me is why did this start this way? Like, why did he go in his press conference? You and I talked about the press conference originally. Like, he takes the shot at Matt LaFleur, just a drive-by for no reason. And
that one I understood. He was trying to rally the fan base.
Okay, but true. But so this is what I'm saying, though. He made it personal right away, and to continue to make it this personal thing when it's like we don't have a past, we don't have a background. Like, why are you doing this? Is it just the rivalry? Because then it seems fake. Then it seems put on. You know what I mean? Like, I think beef. It's like a nickname. It's like the old George Costanza. Like, you can't give yourself a nickname. You can't. You can't exactly. You can't manufacture beef out of thin air. And it feels like he just created beef so that there would be beef. But here's the thing that is most annoying, Matt. It worked. Like, it energized that team in a clear way. And in the locker room after the game, when he's screaming F the Packers, F that team, I can't begrudge him that. That's how they should feel. Like, they deserve that. They earned that. So I can't be mad about that. But it does feel like a put on to me.
How are you doing? Most importantly, forget it. I mean, what a gag job. My Saturday night was horrible, dude.
Well, look, you and I over the last 3 years have both been through this now. I mean, the Lions lose a game against the 49ers that they have absolutely no business losing. Now, I think in that game, you go, well, that 49ers team was a wagon that year. Like, they were really, really good. What makes this harder, Matt, is this Bears team. God, they were so fake all year. I mean, all the late game comebacks, all of the luck, and the luck started to turn. I mean, the Packers fumbled 3 times in the game. They recovered all of them. Caleb Williams throws 2 interceptions. They get multiple 4th down stops. I mean, when you think about it that way, you're just like, how did the Packers lose this game? And yet, as it was happening, it was like a slow motion car crash, Matt. Like, you just couldn't look away. And you kind of knew it's 21-3. And the Packers, the Bears get that field goal. They get feeling a little bit good. and Jordan Love leads them right down the field. And they get in position to make a long field goal. Brandon McManus hits it. Ben Johnson had called timeout, gives another try, misses, and you just sort of felt it. You just sort of felt the air, there was a buoying factor in the building. And I think with that team going, okay, we can do this. And for whatever reason, 21 feels very different than 18 in the same way that 12 feels very different than 11 late, because 12 is, you have to get 2 touchdowns. Whereas 11 is a touchdown and a field goal, and they ended up getting a score and it didn't matter. But like, how do you come back? And I guess I shouldn't ask Dan Campbell, because they haven't. I mean, Dan Campbell said after that game, we may never get back here.
Yeah.
And if you're the Packers, you may be going, we might never get over this hump with Matt LaFleur. And that's why they have decisions to make, right?
The great Peter Bukowski, host of Locked On Packers, just chiming in with us today. We're visiting with Pete. We're making sure he's all right. He looks good. He looks all right. You just mentioned Dan. You just mentioned Dan Campbell. I mean, gosh, all these coaching openings. Mike Tomlin today. Is Matt LaFleur safe? What's going on there?
It seems like he is. Now, it's, of course, as soon as we're done recording this, we'll get some reporting about something and they're trading him to Miami or something crazy. But I in some conversations that I had with some plugged in people today, my expectation is that he will be back. I can't think of an example. Like, you tell me, Matt, can you think of an example of a team that wanted to keep a coach that wanted to stay there and money got in the way? Not power, not personalities, money. I can't think of it. I can't think of a time when someone was just like, yeah, I'd like to stay, but they want too much money. Like, this happens in free agency all the time.
Yeah, sure.
But I can't think of it happening with a coach. And so that tells me, this is all just posturing, unless a team like Miami wants to give up the 11th overall pick and stuff for Matt LaFleur. I can't see it. Remember, John Eric Sullivan, who was Brian Gutekunst's right-hand man, is now running the Miami Dolphins. They need a head coach. Matt Ryan, who won an MVP when Matt LaFleur was his quarterback's coach in Atlanta, and those two were on the sideline for the only other playoff game as embarrassing as this one in the Super Bowl, 28-3, is now the head man in charge in Atlanta.
That's where I thought he'd be going.
Would Atlanta be willing to give up the stuff? Here's the problem: is they don't have a first-round pick. So if he is worth a first-round pick, theoretically, Atlanta doesn't have one to give. So could they lure him with, $25 million a year? They're probably not going to do that. And that doesn't help the Packers, because the Packers are going, what are we doing that for? So I think he's going to be back. What's crazy is, Matt, as we sit here today, there are 9 head coach openings. 9. Yeah. That's crazy, because Mike, as we're recording this, Mike Tomlin just resigned as the head coach in Pittsburgh. And so it's like, Packers probably going to lose Jeff Hafley. He's probably going to get one of those jobs. And that seems like that has potentially negative consequences for the Lions, who want an OC, because someone like Mike Kafka, someone like Mike McDaniel, who maybe otherwise would not have gotten a job, now that the whole league needs new head coaches, maybe some of those guys are going to get, vacuumed up here.
Yeah, Lions talking to Mike McDaniel, although he's interviewing for 4 head coaching jobs. Mike Kafka is the latest name that has come up for the Lions as OC to replace the great John Morton.
I like that one, by the way.
I'm a Kafka fan too. I am. What he did, if you remember that game, what he had Jameis doing at Ford Field back in week 12 was sick. Like, that was great play calling, a lot of razzle dazzle. I get it, they emptied the bag that day, but I'm a Kafka fan. I think I would not hate that move at all. What other names out there, if the Lions got him, would you be, as a Packers guy, scared a little bit?
I mean, Mike McDaniel is the name that no Packer fan wants. They are like, take play calling away from Matt LaFleur so that they can hire Mike McDaniel just so he will not go to the Detroit Lions. Like, that is seriously some of the conversations you see on Packers Twitter, which is, sometimes a scary place to be, and it's a particularly scary place to be right now. But though I think those are the 2 that I have earmarked for them that I think make the most sense. I can't think of that many. Right now it seems like the well is kind of dry on the Shanahan-McVay tree of, hey, this quarterback coach is really in line to be the next guy. Like, those guys are just not, like, you're kind of, I wouldn't say scraping the bottom of the barrel, but are you that excited about Nathan Shieldhouse? Like, we don't even know that much about him. Are you that excited about, not the same thing, but Davis Webb right now in Denver? Yeah. Like, he's getting some head coaching buzz. If he could get a play calling opportunity in Detroit, but how am I supposed to have any idea how good that guy is as anything? We don't know. Right. So, and I'm always nervous about pulling from a tree where you didn't call plays. Like, how good are you as a play caller when you didn't get to do that? But Mike McDaniel, that's the same case. Like, he didn't call plays. Matt LaFleur only did it for a year. He was with Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. So it's kind of a dry league right now from that standpoint, because all of the really good offensive coaches are head coaches.
Hey, maybe the Lions could get Arthur Smith. That just came to mind.
I mean,
available today.
Is there anyone else like Davis Webb? To me,
Davis Webb should be interviewed.
That makes the most sense because he's a Sean guy. Yeah, it's the same bones of that offense.
Yeah.
Did we just solve it? Is that it? That wouldn't be scary to me per se, but like, I think that would, like, if it's a good fit and there's the continuity, the consistency, like, I do think that's the best thing for the Lions, which would then be, you know, annoying from a Packers perspective that they were able to find some continuity. But, you know, you told me that you didn't think it was going to be a problem, that Dan Campbell was going to be able to figure it all out. luckily for you,
you're not allowed to do that.
Luckily for me, you were right.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that. That's weak sauce. Oh my God, Pete. Well,
thanks for having me, Matt.
At least Saturday night or Sunday night, we're going to be, I'll text you. We'll be rooting in our boy Stafford. Come on.
Yeah. Look, I think isn't it funny too for Lions fans that it comes down to Matt Stafford?
Well, if the Niners would have lost and it would have been possible of Bears-Rams title game, that would have been a disaster for Lion fans. At least now we're getting it around earlier so that, you know, yes, one of them advances, either Ben or Stafford. We've seen Stafford win a Super Bowl already here, but at least it's not the NFC Championship game. My God, that would just have been torture around here.
I still think the best team in the NFC, maybe by far, is Seattle. Like, that defense is unbelievable. And I don't trust Sam Darnold in a playoff game as far as I can throw him. But we saw him go toe-to-toe with Matthew Stafford in a big spot in prime time and win that game. And then we saw him play well enough against the 49ers in a must-win game to get the 1 seed. I just think that defense, when I'm you know, recency bias with what we saw on Monday night with what the Texans defense did to Aaron Rodgers. Holy cow. But I just enjoyed that. The defense, I didn't hate it. The defense, like, there are only, I think, 2 defenses in this postseason left that can win games by themselves, and that's Seattle and that's Houston. And so I just think that's when everybody's got good play callers and good quarterbacks, like, I just think that's such an advantage for these teams.
Peter, it's good checking in with you. You behaved mostly, and I love you, man. You know that. You know
I do. No, I appreciate it. I love you too. It is such a privilege to be on this network with all the people that we get to share it with. It really is, and I don't take it for granted. Or at least I try not to, because this is great, and the fan bases, the rivalries. Like, you and I don't hate each other, but we get to have a professional rivalry about the teams, and we get to have fun doing it. So I always appreciate our Lions fans checking in. My biggest stream ever was Saturday night post game live.
I was watching
because it was 50% Bears fans, and I was like, guys, go give Lauren Cox the money. You're putting money in my pocket. Put it in Lauren's pocket. Your team, your guy won. Go listen to Lauren.
Oh my God, who's that one guy? Greg Gabriel, who covers the Bears.
Man.
He hates you. Oh my God.
What's so funny is
some reason I follow him on Twitter, and he just goes off on you.
He used to be like my guy. He used to defend me to Bears Twitter.
Wow.
And I haven't talked to him in years, and for whatever reason, he's like all of a sudden at my neck because he's trying to score points with Bears fans, because Bears fans turned on him for a while, and so he's trying to score some cheap points. A lot of people, Matt, like to use my name for engagement on Twitter. I've noticed.
Peter Bukowski, Locked on Packers. Go Rams on Sunday night,
and go Orange.
There he is. Always love talking to Pete. And Locked on Lions for today are brought to you by our friends at Gusto. Gusto is the all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or hidden fees. Unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month. Gusto's automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, direct deposits save you hours every week. And knowing you can reach certified HR experts anytime gives you real peace of mind. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/LockedOnNFL and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right. 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/LockedOnNFL. One more time. That's gusto.com/LockedOnNFL. And Locked On Lions brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Yes, divisional round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action, because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets that you like most. Open your profit boost pack first thing on game day and see what boosts you want to apply. Every play feels bigger, and the boosts make your bets feel that way too. It's great. You make your picks and apply your profit boosts to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. You got games Saturday. You got games Sunday. Check it all out at FanDuel. So visit FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. All right, Matt Dery back with you. Thank you to our everyday listeners here. And don't forget our Everydayer Club. Please go to lockedonlions.supercast.com to learn more. And join us, whether we're on our Discord or whatever. Check us out with our Everydayer Club. We appreciate all of our everydayers that are out there and checking the show out daily. Sheila Ford Hamp speaks. Lions team owner sent a season ticket holder letter and email out today thanking everybody. Here's what Sheila had to say. Quote, "I want to start by thanking you for your commitment to our team and the support you show throughout the season. I'm always blown away by the energy you create inside Ford Field and the advantage you give our team every time we run out of the tunnel. I also want to acknowledge that our results on the field this season were not what any of us envisioned, and frankly, we're not good enough. While we do not believe it is time for drastic change, this is an opportunity for us to refocus, evolve, and move forward. I'm proud of the roster we have built and the 36 wins we've accumulated over the last 3 seasons. That success doesn't happen by accident, but also does not guarantee future success. It is incumbent upon us to continue growing toward our ultimate goal of bringing a championship to all of you and the city of Detroit. I can assure you that we are committed to looking at everything we do to ensure we're performing at the highest level. Through conversations with Rod, Brad, and Dan," she started with Rod, "we are all aligned with this thinking and have already started meetings to address how we move forward. We're excited for what 2026 will bring and some of the new elements we will introduce to for all of you, our most loyal fans. Thank you again for your commitment. Go Lions." End quote. That is a letter, an email sent by Sheila Ford Hamp to Lions season ticket holders today. I love this. Look, owners reaching out anytime that season ticket members, holders, whatever you want to call them, are getting to hear from the very top is important. And I hope at some point this offseason, Sheila does make herself available to the media. Not that I think she's going to answer a lot of in-depth questions, but being transparent, being there for the fans is important. What was I found most interesting about Sheila's email to the fans was the opportunity now, as she says, to refocus, evolve, and move forward. I think evolving, if you want to read between the lines a little bit, for Sheila and this organization is to not be doing the same things that they've been doing in the last couple of years. All right. I'm not saying, oh, got to go get Linderbaum, got to go get McGovern, the center for the Bills, one of those top 2 guys, give them all this money. I would love to see one of those guys here. But I think evolving does mean that maybe they will do something like that the Lions will get a little bit more bold when it comes to free agency and maybe let some of the players that fans have beloved and some fans have really liked, maybe not re-sign all of those guys again. There's guys, there are free agents. We talked about this yesterday. I would like to see them bring back Al-Qadim Muhammad, Amik Robertson, guys like I want to see some guys out on defense can play, return. But I also, the word evolve I like because you don't want to stay status quo. Dan Campbell's now been here 5 years. Brad Holmes now been here 5 years. Jared Goff's now been here 5 years. Sometimes it gets stale. Evolving and bringing some new faces in. I'm excited that she made that kind of comment. One last thing before we go here on a Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions, and appreciate all of you being with us. Mike Tomlin stepping away after 19 years as the Steelers head coach. Coach T, no longer in the Berg. So now an opening in Pittsburgh. I mean, I've been alive for 52 years. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin in my lifetime, and that's it. That's amazing. Tomlin, it was time for him to go. Steelers had basically hit a wall with him and a certain surface of not winning a playoff game. They won a playoff game in 9 years. But you got to give a lot of respect to a guy that lasted 19 years in the same job. And I thought did a pretty darn good job. So shout out to a guy like Mike Tomlin. And I think he'd be amazing on television. Love how he talks, the verbiage he uses. The Tomlinisms are great. I'd love to see him on one of these pregame shows or something. The Fox pregame show, fix it. Put Mike Tomlin on there. He'd be great. Bradshaw, Gronk, they offer nothing. Put Tomlin on there and I'll watch it. All right, we're back again tomorrow with a Wednesday Locked On Lions.